Welcome back, everybody. It's Rodrigo. It's another episode of Whiteboard Wednesday, Season 2, Episode 11. And today we're talking about one of my least favorite things about being in the real estate world, and that's record keeping. So, well, that was supposed to splatter everywhere. At least it's not going to be a lot to pick up, thankfully. So today we're talking about record keeping. Specifically from the perspective from a landlord. So if you own rental property and you've got tenants, there's a lot of different conversations that exist as far as how, what type of records you need to keep. Do you record every single conversation? Besides your lease, what else do you need to have, etc. So this episode, I'm just gonna kind of share my thoughts. This is all just personal opinions on what you need to have or what records are worth keeping. And then this is in theory gonna be, if you ever need to, either evict somebody or if there's a dispute between you and your tenant about what was paid, what wasn't paid, what your agreement was. If you follow these things in theory, this is gonna help set you up for success, or at least so far for us, it's been what we've used, and it's kept us out of complicated or confusing situations. So first off, a couple of important things. A written lease. It amazes me to this day how often we talk to people who are landlords and they don't have a written lease. Why don't you have a written lease? Like, it's really important. There's too many instances where people's memories can fail, or you just remember things, and it can be small things that you don't think are a big deal until they are. And then it's an issue. So written lease is super important. Make sure you always have a written lease in place. No exceptions. Should be a non-negotiable for anything you do. Record of payments is number 2. Especially if your tenants are paying cash, have a receipt book. Track their payments. Do it on, an Excel spreadsheet, Google Drive. Use something and make sure that you and your tenants are in agreement on how much they're paying every month, their consistency of their payments, and that there's no question that somebody can say, oh, I've paid you, and you can be like, no, you haven't. You don't want to get into he said, she said type of situation. So keep track of the payments that you're receiving. Doesn't matter how you get them, cash, check, money order, etc. All right, here's another one. Repair requests. Although, our tenants are welcome to call us and ask for things to be repaired, we always ask them to also follow it up with a text or an email, or just preferably always for it to be written. Make sure that all repair requests are done in written format, and then as a landlord, respond to them in a written format. So this is just super simple. On that is, hey, we need X and such fixed. Have them send it to you via text, email, however you want to communicate. Respond, let them know when it's going to happen. And then as a landlord, we keep track of all of our records. So if something was fixed, we keep track that it was fixed. Because there are some times where you can get into an issue where you can be like, oh, you've never fixed anything, or you don't do a good job of keeping your property up in livable condition. Sometimes tenants will say that, but if you can show every time the fridge was broken, or every time the water heater wasn't working, or whatever the cases are, and you have a list of when things were broken and when they got fixed, then it's going to go a long way in just, making and building trust between you and your tenant. All right, we're going to switch colors here a little bit. All right, communication around money. So life happens. Sometimes your tenants aren't going to be able to pay on the 1st, or they're going to pay late. Sometimes that's a big deal. Sometimes it's not a big deal. Either way, make sure you have those conversations in writing, again, via text or email, because we will work and we'll go out of our way to make sure we work with our tenants, but it's contingent on there being communication. And so we keep track of those conversations because our tenants wants to know, to trust. If we say, hey, we're going to give you an extra few days to catch up on your rent before we file an eviction, they want, let's have that conversation in writing so that they have that proof on their end. But then also as the landlord, we have proof of what we're doing and why we're doing it. So these are the big things. Also, as a landlord, if you're going to go sell your property, all these things make it a lot easier. It's going to remove a lot of variables. Whoever your buyer is going to be incredibly thankful for it. So again, record keeping as a landlord, this is what we do. We keep some records about some other stuff in different ways we do it, but this is the minimum. Start with that, and hopefully it's helpful. If you have any questions or if there's anything we can do to help, definitely reach out to us, and we appreciate it. See you next week. Take care.